Hi guys, thanks for coming. Let's do this. I can't believe I've been so hesitant to do this. Welcome to my channel. I'm Fa and this is my jungle. I'm growing over 100 plants in my apartment. I live in New York with my husband and 2 kids. We have a 2-bedroom apartment, so space is at a premium here really. Up until before the pandemic, we just had your typical kind of furnishings, but we didn't really have any plants in here. I'm not sure why when I think back on it. Anyway, we were stuck inside all day, every day, and I was looking for things to do. Everybody was bored. I read an article in the New York Times about people growing scallions from ends, and I just thought it seemed like an interesting thing to do. So after we had dinner one night, I chopped off the end of some scallions and put them in water, and I was checking them every couple of days and they started growing. And it was just like the most exciting thing. So it kind of took me back to being in school and having like those projects, where you'd like plant the bean and see if it sprouted. I just thought it was really exciting. So I thought we had some romaine lettuce and some napa cabbage, and so I chopped the ends off those when we were done with them, and I sort of put them in the water and they sprouted, and I thought, oh, yes, aerial gardening. It was cool, I would check on it all the time. I harvested the tips of it. It was actually quite a fun time. And then I just, started looking around the apartment and thinking, I wonder why we don't have any houseplants. A bit odd, isn't it? So I hopped online, as everyone was doing, and I ordered 3 houseplants. I didn't know anything, honestly, about growing plants at this time. I ordered a snake plant, a yucca, and a monstera. I ordered them from Home Depot, maybe? Like medium-ish sized. I just wanted something because it was obvious to me, and I'm not sure why I didn't notice it before, that like our apartment was very under-decorated. It was just like a beige box, basically. We had some nice parts to it, but I just thought it could do with a bit more character. And so I ordered these plants, and they took a little while, but then they came. Between my ordering and them coming, I thought about the fact that actually I have no idea how to keep these things alive, and so I started doing some research, a lot of digging, and just trying to figure out how to care for houseplants, where do they go, and luckily monstera and snake plants and even the yucca are actually quite easy care plants. So I did start with some that were more reasonable, like quite easy to care for, and I had in my research found out that light was quite important. And so I checked the direction of the light in our apartment, and we have a really big window, and it turns out to be facing south or southeast. So it's actually, the light source is very good. So I didn't really have too much to worry about on that front. I just needed to figure out how to water it. That's basically how it started, From there, it just sort of snowballed. Once I figured out how to care for, I would say the yucca and the snake plant were nice to look at, but when the monstera put out its first new leaf, that was it. I was gone. I was in love. I was obsessed. And so that is where my love and fascination for growing plants in the apartment came from. It snowballed pretty quickly from there. From there, I got into philodendrons, found all the different plant accounts on Instagram, and just went down that rabbit hole. And today I have obviously a couple of monstera, including my favorite over here. I would say the bulk of my collection right now is anthuriums. It changes all the time, really. I go through all these phases, but I'm in a pretty big anthurium phase at the moment. I really like them. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to sharing all my plants with you, sharing how I grow them here in the apartment, how I manage to deal with 2 kids. My kids are not, they're a little bit, they're between the ages of like 8 and 12, so they're not, they're not babies or anything, but we do have some casualties, some leaf casualties sometimes. And really, anything else you guys are interested in seeing or hearing about with regards to my collection, let me know in the comments. I'm hoping to share more of my life here in New York, plant shopping, my favorite places to buy them, and how I style them all over the apartment, how I fit over 100 into this 2-bedroom space, which basically means squeezing the bulk of them in here in the living room and in my bedroom. The collection is a mix of anthuriums, some other aroids like the tycon, like a few philodendron, and I do also have quite a few just typical common regular plants like my oxalis, It's one of my favorites. I think it's quite a good mix, you know. I like to grow plants like this into the best and most beautiful specimens that I can, and then, you know, when they get too big for the space, I like to chop them back to, like, you know, nothing and start again. That's kind of the joy of the whole thing for me, really, right? The fun is in the journey, and I look forward to sharing the journey with you. Thank you for being here. If you're interested in seeing more of my collection, or if you've enjoyed what I've shared so far, please do subscribe, give this a thumbs up, you know, drop a comment below if you have any suggestions for what you'd like to see, and I will see you next time.